It's your buddy, Big Johnny G. The Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming. What's up indeed, everyone? Ho, 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 and happy holidays. Whatever holidays it is, if any, that you celebrate right now. But it is winter. Yeah! Winter's finally here, and we have an upcoming catalog that I want to share with all of you. I want you to see what we have coming up, hopefully build up a little bit of excitement in you, just like there's a bunch of excitement in me for these games. So come on, let's get down to the table and check out what's coming. Now, these are presented in no particular order. I don't know as of right now what the order is going to be for them to drop. But these are the games we have coming up regardless. We're going to be trying to squeeze in all of these for the winter catalog. Role Player. Fantastic game. Fun game. Oh, there's a new expansion. It comes with a big box deluxe version that we're getting. That'll contain all of the games, the base game and both the first and now this second expansion. And that's Role Player, Fiends, and Familiars. I'm really looking forward to seeing how everything is added to the game, because the last game brought in so many new factors while bringing us enough of the same but new to keep it very excitable. So I'm really looking forward to this, and I hope you are too. Fiasco, the card game of plans gone horribly wrong. Now, Fiasco itself was a DM-less book game with a bunch of scenarios and a bunch of setups for everything from items to people, and having connections between the other players, and playing out like a Coen's Brother movie. The books were a little tedious for a lot of people to get through. And the game, I think, because that suffered and didn't get a large enough crowd, a large enough following and fandom that this amazing game deserves. Even me and Tommy V had trouble and struggled with the game. Well, we're not the only ones that had a little bit of problem with it, or thought it could be streamlined at the very least. Because that's exactly what they ended up doing, and streamlining it down to cards. And we are so excited about this. We're so happy that we were able to be part of the Kickstarter for it, and that it is now coming in. So that's going to be in our winter catalog, and you've got to check this game out. Tiny Epic Dinosaurs. The currently most recent available in the Tiny Epic series, and this one finds you genetically creating and farming dinosaurs. Picture Dinosaur Island if you didn't have to run an amusement park. Yeah, basically just think of the dinosaur creation part of Jurassic Park. So there are going to be escapees. Meeples will be eaten. You'll be able to check that game out right here. Glory, a game of knights. Now, this was an early edition of the Two Gun Pixie gaming radar, and it was on our wish list for a while. We missed the original backing of it, which was a European backing anyway, so probably why we missed it. But as soon as that was over, they did an American backing for it, and I was so happy they gave me the opportunity to jump on this. And with it coming in now after a successful Kickstarter run again, yeah, I can't wait to get this game on camera for you all. Now, Totemic caught my attention not only because it's a single player game, but because this Kickstarter game had to do with spirits, totemic spirits. and the strengthening of them, building up your deck, which I'm not a big fan of to begin with. So a deck builder has to be something different or unique or something really, really up my alley to catch my interest, which this did. And it had a very short time on Kickstarter, and it really blew up. And now getting in the hands of all the backers, this is going to be so amazing. I can't wait to see how this game is played out. The artwork for it is thematically perfect. It really looks fantastic. So I'm really looking forward to making sure I get a chance to show that off and showcase it to all of you. Warp's Edge. It's another Kickstarter game. Actually, they've all been Kickstarter games so far. Every single game on the winter catalog, actually, my friends, is a Kickstarter. Wow. So Warp's Edge caught my attention because it has an 80s arcade theme to it, which looked really fun. And there's a small surging a little bit of this art and thematic style that's been trying to be captured in several board games I've noticed over the last couple of years. But what also caught my attention was that this was a game that can be run solo. It is a solo game. So I thought to myself, wow, this looks really fun. It's a solo game. Let's back it. I made a good choice because it was successful. And this arcade style, 80s arcade style inspired sci-fi game will be making its way to your screen real soon. Die in the Dungeon by Fundamental Games. Now, if you've been following me or following them, you know they've already come out with a couple of really ace games. Between the card game Duel of the Dragons and then Legends of Novus, the fantasy world exploration tabletop adventure sandbox game. Amazing, absolutely amazing. Well, this is the dungeon twist style. There's been a few of them over the years. And this is where you are the dungeon and the denizens of the dungeon, you know, fighting off the adventurers. But it's done in one of the most unique, yet still thematically perfectly picked game formats and art formats. And, well, you'll see. If you haven't seen the game already, you'll see when it gets here for the showcase. Lost Worlds of Josh Kerby. This game had my attention for a while. This was another one that was on our gaming radar before we were lucky enough to get an opportunity to get a Kickstarter preview pack of it, so to speak, in order to play and show off and give our thoughts on the game. And being the 20-Sided Warriors, we loved this game. Absolutely loved it. It felt like a bigger, more epic version of Tiny Epic Galaxies, but without being so big that it's overblown and takes forever. It has a really nice sweet spot between Tiny Epic Galaxies and a much larger all-day long 4X kind of sci-fi game. So when that gets here, that's going to be showcased. You're going to get to see that on our channel, and I hope you end up enjoying it as much as me, the 20-Sided Warriors, and a lot of people on Kickstarter liked it. Now, Ghost Star. Ghost Star is one of the things I really enjoy because it is a mixed genre game, and it does pick two of the easiest to match up, but when done correctly, it always leaves a dreadful experience. And that's what Ghost Star is. It is a psychological horror game, but also an otherworldly. It's very Lovecraftian. It's very much along the lines of H.P. Lovecraft's mythos work or Robert E. Howard's mythos stories. And it takes place in space. I'm so sorry that this game didn't get a chance to finish completion and get here before the end of fall, because obviously or mid-fall, I would love to have had that time perfectly for Halloween. But let's see if this game is as dreadful as the artwork, which is magnificent, implies. Fickle. Fickle. Now, Fickle is by the same publisher that we find Lost Worlds of Josh Kerby. And Fickle is a card-based game of, well, fairy battles, a Pixie war. Yeah, and the artwork that I've seen is matches the game. It looks exactly the way you would imagine really good fairy art to look like. They've captured that look and therefore captured the entire feel of the theme in the card game. And for the beauty of the game alone, I can't wait to throw it up here on the screen and show you all the cards, put them up like that. Let you see everything down on the table, play through, and our thoughts on it. So that'll be coming up. Now, these last three are the financially biggest games that Two Gun Pixie has had an opportunity to be a part of, to happily be a part of. And when they get here, it's going to be a party. It's going to feel like one anyway. So those three games: Hour of Need, like hour, time, Hour of Need. This is a miniatures-based epic level superhero board game that caught my attention, and I couldn't look away. Everything about this game, the only thing that would have made this game more perfect, but then it would have been too expensive to me to back at the level I wanted to back, and that's if the miniatures came pre-painted. You know, they didn't have to be perfectly painted, just a good job, good enough job. I'd be happy with that. But that would have, like I said, made it way, way too expensive. So, but it's man, the game itself looks amazing. The bells and the whistles that came with this Kickstarter is going to be a thing of beauty to look at. So, that can't get on screen fast enough for me. Arkesis. I think I'm saying that right. Arkesis. This is a mixed genre as well. This uses 1930s style Egyptian tomb raiding and mixes it with ancient steampunk tech. Yeah. Picture an Indiana Jones movie if it took place in Egypt. Oh yeah, like Brendan Fraser's The Mummy. There you go. But with this odd, almost alien steampunk tech, mummies and monsters and sphinxes and it's a miniature game. The miniatures are amazing. They are fantastic. The game is done in a campaign mode. It's legacy style, yet there is a replayable version of the game to continue playing. And for the campaign mode, the legacy mode, all the players have tuck boxes. Little tuck boxes to keep all the cards that they've accumulated, they've collected, they've built up. Keep them all in a nice tuck box that looks like an old school knapsack, backpack. So that game is just blowing my mind. The last two, Hour of Need and this one, Arkesis, totally blew my mind. But not as much as this last one. The most important game that I will ever unbox, play, do live playthroughs of, do slideshows of, do reviews of, first impressions of, everything. If there's a video that can be made on this last game for the winter catalog, trust me, my friends, I'm gonna do it. Have you guessed what that last game is? Something I've talked about, no, not in a while. I backed up a little bit. But you know what that is? Return to Dark Tower. This was one of the board games that changed my life when I was a kid and I got it. That Christmas morning, that Christmas day, me and my friends have probably played that one board game literally more than any other board game in our entire lives. We just played it constantly. It killed pretty much Dungeons and Dragons for us for at least a year. So all we did was Dark Tower. It, to a degree, literally did change the lives of me and my friends. So with Restoration Games attacking this project after their successful Fireball Island remake, yes, and yes, I was all over it. Did everything I could to make sure that I could establish getting the best deluxe version of it with all the bells and whistles, because I was only going to have one chance to do this. One chance. So I did it. And it's going to be here. And you all are going to see it. And you're going to experience this with me. All right, everyone. That is our winter catalog. Oh, exciting, huh? A lot of nice stuff on this. All right, everyone. I'm your buddy Big Johnny G for Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming. And my friends, I am out of here.